Screw the bells and whistles. Let's just dive right into this thing. This is championship rings that you've just broken into. Brandon Lewis is not here, but guess what? The show must go on. We are about an hour away from one of the biggest games of the 2024 NBA season that I can remember. I don't know about you, Jalen, but we're not wasting any time. Let's just get right into this thing because, well, how else do I say this other than the streak is over? Is that the best way to say it? The Chiefs had not lost a game since Christmas of last year when they fell at home to the Las Vegas Raiders. And, of course, Josh Allen had to be the one who delivered the first blow to the Chiefs' record. So, hey, 1972 Miami Dolphins, you can pop the champagne.
Exactly. That's right, guys. We said screw the intro. Let's make it raw and uncut this week. And Josh, what a game that was. How beautiful was it to watch Patrick Mahomes lose on the television screen? That was pure, that was beautiful. But my only question is, if they meet in the playoffs again, can Josh get over that hump of beating Pat in the playoffs? We know he's capable of doing it in the regular season. Can he do it in the playoffs? That's where it matters.
That's the money question. And, well, the Chiefs showed last year it doesn't matter whether the game is in Kansas City or whether the game is in Buffalo. They can go into either stadium and beat the Bills in the playoffs when it counts. Now, so I don't know what to make of this game, really, because Josh Allen, like you said, he has all the success against Patrick Mahomes when it comes to the regular season. And he did it again on Sunday. I'm not taking that away from him. But again, just like you said, Jalen, when it comes to the playoffs, that's when Mahomes has gotten the better of him. So,
And realistically, I don't mean to cut you off.
go ahead.
That's the only time that matters. It doesn't matter if you take a loss in the regular season. It doesn't matter that I think it was the Bucks that beat the Lions. That doesn't matter now. Look at the Lions now. They're putting BTA every single week after that one loss. You think people are looking at that one loss? No, they're looking at the future and them winning. And that's the playoffs is where it matters for these good teams, for your teams like the Bills, the Lions, the Chiefs, all those teams. The regular season really doesn't matter much.
Exactly. Like, does playoff seeding matter? For the most part, I would say yeah. Because A, whoever gets the one seed has a bye and doesn't have to play in the wild card. But I would also argue that, like, even for those wild card matchups, seeding matters. Because I would say, going back to last year, for example, Green Bay got a favorable matchup by playing Dallas on the road, wouldn't you?
I would say so. In typical Cowboys fashion, Dak Prescott threw 3 or so interceptions and made Jordan Love look like prime Aaron Rodgers, and that was a favorable. But I feel like anyone playing the Cowboys is always favored because they're the Cowboys.
Okay, so maybe that's a bad example, but you get my point. Do you get my overall point of what I'm trying to say?
I get your overall point. I do. But I just got a bag on the Cowboys. Shout out Brandon Lewis. Fly Eagles fly. I know you enjoyed that.
Yeah.
Little Cowboys bash there.
Yeah. The Cowboys stadium is literally falling apart just like their team. But that's hilarious. But maybe we'll get to that a little bit later in the show. But in terms of this game, I feel like this combined with Lamar's lack of winning against the Steelers, and we'll get to that here shortly, does this game put Josh Allen at the front of the line in terms of the MVP?
Oh, man, I don't know. You got, biasly, I'd say Jared Goff is still sitting 1, 2, or 3. And Josh, I know that's a tough pill for you to swallow there, but
Yes.
it's the truth, and that's not even you guys listen to this know I love the Lions. I'm a ride or die for the Lions. I for goodness sakes, in my lifetime, I sat through Matt Patricia coaching, and that was, oh boy, and 0-16 season. Both of my NFL teams have gone 0-16 in my lifetime, so that's just don't you think these comments can hurt me when I make an outlandish sports take? No, just remember what I sat through 08 and in 2017, 2016. But anyways, yeah, I don't know. It puts them there. It definitely does, but we got to remember that Bo Nix almost beat Patrick Mahomes. If it wasn't for a blocked field goal, I think that's who's under center in Denver. Prove me wrong if I'm.
Yeah, it is Bo Nix.
Yeah, it's Bo Nix. So Bo Nix almost pulled it off. So I don't know if any credibility goes to Josh Allen for this one. I'm not gonna lie.
Okay. And you know what? I'll hear you on that. In terms of the MVP, I was actually trying to argue that it's Amon-Ra St. Brown because he's been Jared Goff's go-to guy all year. Not to discredit the likes of Sam Laporta or Jamison Williams or any of the other weapons that Detroit has. Obviously, you got your two-headed running back monster. But
I agree. Yeah, I agree with you. I think I didn't mean to cut you off again, but I think Admira is Jared Allen. Wrong sport. Got Cavs in the brain. Starting soon.
yes,
Jared Goff. That's his comfort guy. That's his guy when he knows when S hits the fan, so to speak. He can always look for Amara and make a big play.
exactly. And that was part of my concern with the Buffalo Bills. Once they trade Stephon Diggs, I'm like, who's going to be that go-to guy? Like, it's 3rd and 5, late in the game. We know who Mahomes is going to. He's going to Travis Kelce. We know that Tua generally will go to either Tyreek Hill or Jalen Waddle when they're healthy. There's a number of guys across the league that you can say, okay, he's the go-to. But then you looked at Buffalo once they traded Stephon Diggs, and you're like, who is that go-to guy? Do you feel like we found... I'm not sure if we found that out on Sunday or not. Like, Amari Cooper seems to be stepping into that role since they traded for him. But I'm not 100% sure.
He's not Diggs. I will say that. He's not. He doesn't fill the hole completely that Diggs was able to fill over those time in Buffalo. But I'd like to say shout out to Coop. I'm glad you're having fun playing football again. You got out of the dumpster fire that is our loving, beautiful Cleveland Browns. I say you notice how monotone I am. But yeah, maybe. And I can't say that Coop will be that main guy right now. Maybe, honestly, it's his first year with the offense. It's not even a full year. So give him a full year, and I think he will be that guy. But right now, I think Josh Allen is still testing the waters with having Coop on the field.
Yeah. But, so let me ask you this then. Which team do you think you learned more about from this game? Kansas City or Buffalo?
Kansas City.
Okay.
I learned that Kansas City is a bad football team right now. And not bad as in like they're not going to make the playoffs or they're not going to make a run to the Super Bowl because it's Patrick Mahomes. We all know what they're bad as in if it was Lions Chiefs, the Lions are. Oh, I have full confidence, unbiasedly, that that defense can't stop the two-headed monster or Amara or Sam Laporta or JFG. You know what the F stands for, but
Yes.
JG. Um, I have full confidence that majority of the good teams can stop Kansas City. I think that even though Baltimore looked a little shaky and they lost, I still think that would be a competitive game.
I mean, it was back in week 1.
Yeah,
Baltimore would have won that game if you know, if like Kevin
yeah,
Durant, if the shoe was just a bit smaller.
yeah. That man. Sometimes I usually flex that I am able to wear a size 12 to 13, but then when I see my favorite athletes like that not able to tiptoe in, sometimes I wish I had the small, quick feet. Um,
No, I
but
get what you're saying though. But at the
yeah,
same time, I I understand why you would say you favor Detroit. They just, for God's sakes, they just put up 52 points. But then on the other side, you're like, but it's Patrick Mahomes. Are you really willing to bet against Mahomes when we've seen him get down the field in 13 seconds and put the put his team in a position to kick the game time field goal against Buffalo, or in a gotta have it drive, he was able to lead his team down the field against Philadelphia. We saw what he did in the second half last year against San Francisco in the Super Bowl. In the Super Bowl against San Francisco a few years ago. So that's my question. I I get that we also saw what happens when his offensive line is not fully healthy, and that left tackle is definitely a big question. I'm not going to lie there. So maybe Detroit could expose that, but I'm like, do you really want to bet against Patrick Mahomes?
let me ask you this though: you think Dan Campbell's really letting Patrick Mahomes touch the ball with 2 minutes left if we have the ball? He's going for it on 4th and 8. No question, no question in my head. Dan Campbell is a man, a psycho man. I might add. I love you, Dan. If you ever see this, I love you so much. But you are a psychopath that gets me fired up for Sundays, Mondays, and Thursdays like no other. And if we're up 7, and it's 4th down, 4th and 4, or 4th and 5, and we have to punt to give the ball back to Patrick Mahomes, you can bet your ass Dan Campbell's going for that. And you know that, and everyone else knows that. So
Could
that's
you
why
go ahead?
I'm fully confident in this Lions team.
Could you imagine if somehow, some way, for Super Bowl 59 down in New Orleans, the party city, it's Lions, Bills? Good God. I don't know if New Orleans would still be the same city.
Standing. New Orleans would not be standing.
Um, that would be crazy. I think I learned a little bit more about the Bills in this game, and I'll tell you why. I get your reasoning for what you said about Kansas City, and I don't disagree. But again, go back to what we were saying about the Bills. They lost a lot on defense. Micah Hyde, not there. Jordan Poyer, he went to the rival Dolphins. They lost a lot of other pieces on defense. Um, they lost Gabe Davis. They traded Stephon Diggs. So we're like, what? Who are the Bills? And we were looking at, Miami, and a lot of people were saying, oh, the New York Jets can be a factor in the AFC.
Ha ha.
Yeah.
Funny joke, guys.
Yeah. Brandon even predicted the Jets would win the division.
I told Brandon he was a nutcase when he said that. I have the text to prove it. He said the Jets are going to be number 1 in that division. I said you are nuts.
But but that but you get my point though, that people were kind of just writing the Bills off after their losses on defense and their losses on offense. So I think that's why I learned more about the Bills in that regard, is because Josh Allen's like, oh no, we're still a factor. We're still here. Like, we didn't go anywhere.
Josh Allen is putting this team on his shoulders because he knows the media wrote him off. And Josh Allen is the type of guy that, okay, screw you. You wrote me off. Watch what I'm going to do.
Fair enough. So let's get to the other game, which coincidentally, I was driving back from Pittsburgh on Sunday. So I didn't get to see the entirety of this game. But I'll tell you this. This is my favorite rivalry in the NFL by far. When the Ravens and the Steelers meet, I'm finding a way to watch because it's usually a hard-hitting, sometimes bloody game. And when they meet, the implications are usually huge. I mean, the first example that comes crashing to my mind is the 2008 AFC Championship game, but there's a number of other examples you could use. And this game was no different because Baltimore came into this game at 7-3, just a game behind the Steelers, who were 7-2. And the Steelers won this game without scoring a damn touchdown.
I would like to say thank you, Chris Boswell. He's on my fantasy team. He gave me 24. It was beautiful. Along with Jerry Goff's beautiful 35.
Oh,
but,
that's nothing. Taysom Hill just went off.
My dad played Taysom Hill this week. Absolutely destroyed him. 45.
It was fun. But anyway, like, I don't know what it is. When Lamar sees the Steelers logo, he does not play well at all.
No, he plays like there's a girl in the stands and he's nervous of screwing up. That's how he plays.
I wasn't expecting you to go there, but hey, it works.
It does work. Lamar, listen to me. You need to step it up. You had a chance to win that game. And Zay Flowers, that ball hit him dead in the hands, and it just fell to the ground. Man, the Steelers, they're a solid team. They are a really solid football team.
Yeah, I'm telling you now, I'm expecting half of Huntington Bank Field, or whatever the heck it's called, on Thursday to be half terrible towels, if not.
Oh yeah.
If not more.
Oh yeah, for sure. Just the drive to see a good team. It's a 2-hour drive, or right, 2 hours ish.
Yeah,
2 hours or so drive, and you're clearly a better team. And the Browns have been a good team for the last 4 years. Now we suck again. Like it's from the Waterboy, you know that scene? Oh no, we suck again.
Oh no, we suck again! I love that movie.
That's what we are right now, and it's not going to be a home game. It's going to be a Pittsburgh home game, and we're going to get smacked.
Yes. By the way, we'll get back to this Ravens-Steelers game in a minute, but I fully expect do you remember last year when San Francisco came to Cleveland? Like, basically half the stadium was red, if not more.
Yeah,
I think when Kansas City comes here in Week 15, it's going to be the exact same way.
You know what? I said this when we lost this week. I said, "Watch, we're gonna somehow beat the Ravens again. We're gonna somehow beat Pittsburgh at least once, and we're gonna somehow beat Kansas City in Week 15." And I don't know how it's gonna happen, but it's gonna happen.
All right. Well, maybe we can revisit that, but let's get back to this Ravens-Steelers game. Baltimore, you went out inside Derrick Henry. Why are you not using him? I don't get it.
You signed one of the most dominant running backs in the league, and he barely touched the ball.
What did he get? Like only 13 carries or something?
Something like that. I think it was a little more than that, but yeah.
Like, that's not enough. Then again, I don't think he would be doing much better if he was with the Dallas Cowboys, given their situation. But that's a different story for another day. But I don't know what it is. Pittsburgh just seems to own Lamar. I don't get it. Because, like, we hype up Lamar. He just won his second MVP. And everybody and their mother was saying, oh, Lamar's going to skate to his third MVP award this season and go back to back. And now everybody's like, Josh Allen this and, Jerry Goff that. And I don't hear Lamar's name as much after that game. Do you?
Because he can't win the big one.
No.
He can't win the big one. And the big one isn't in the playoffs. He can't do that either. But the big one in the regular season, you got two games you absolutely have to win. Two teams that hate your guts. You got the Browns, which you lost to, and they're horrible. They're absolutely shot in a dumpster fire. And then you got the Steelers, who coming into the season, people said, well, I don't know where you can put the Steelers, considering how good the Browns were supposed to be. Oh, I don't know. Now look at them. Both teams, the Browns and Steelers, beat the Ravens within a one possession game.
Yep.
And Lamar had a shot, and both times, and couldn't do it.
Correct. And the other big one was week 1 against Mahomes, because Lamar cannot beat Mahomes, whether it's in the regular season or in the postseason. So there you go.
Lamar can beat these quarterbacks that aren't isn't the man yet, aren't the man of the league yet. He can go and he can beat your Trevor Lawrence, and he can beat your Tuas and guys like your B plus players. He can beat those guys, but he can't beat the S tier to A plus quarterbacks. Well, I shouldn't even say that because he lost to Jameis Winston, but throw up them dubs, baby. But
I mean, he lost to Gardner Minshew twice.
I did forget about that. He did lose to Minch twice.
Yep.
Wow. Lamar Jackson, you need to step your game up, pal. Because soon this league is going to pass you by and you're not going to know what to do.
What about Russell Wilson, though, flipping to the other side? Everybody kind of wrote him off after that disaster that was his Denver Broncos stint. And he's come into Pittsburgh, becomes the starting quarterback after Justin Fields played well for them. And everybody's like, wait, why are you making a quarterback change? That's why they made the quarterback change. Sure, they didn't score a touchdown, but they're playing like 10 times better offensively.
I will be the first to say I wrote Russ off after the stint in Denver.
So did I.
But man, Mr. Unlimited is going at it, and I love it. It reminds me of when I was a kid watching Russ and that your favorite team, the Seattle Seahawks, throwing absolute.
Correct. The Legion of Boom.
The Legion of Boom. That's exactly what this team is. This team has a fantastic defense. He's practically in the same system.
He is. And, he had the beautiful pass to Mike Williams last week, which I still, to poke fun at the New York Jets again, he couldn't do anything offensively for the Jets. And what does he do? He comes in and catches the game-winning touchdown. Shit happens.
Jets, Jets.
Oh, God. But it's just like Jalen Warren has figured it out this season. Najee Harris has figured it out this season. George Pickens has even gotten back to being like a top tier receiver in the NFL. And you're like, how? How does this keep happening? Like, Mike Tomlin does not know the definition of the words losing season. He's never had one in Pittsburgh.
And
Never.
he never will. He never will.
No.
As long because he's only coaching 3 to 4 years more max. He never will. That team will be great. That team will make playoff pushes. If this team stays together, this team will make a playoff push. I don't see them being first round exits. I I would if the Browns were as good as they were supposed to be, maybe, but absolutely not. It's I don't hate the Steelers team, and it's weird because I usually hate all my rivals,
Right.
but I don't. I just don't. I like Russ. I like Pickens, and I like TJ. I love TJ actually.
You know, it's funny you say that because just in general, as a Browns fan, I should hate the Steelers, but I never have. And maybe that's because I've never felt like it was a rivalry in the same way that Ravens Steelers is. Because, like I said earlier, when the Ravens and Steelers meet, there's usually major implications. I couldn't tell you the last time a Browns Steelers game had major implications. I guess you could go back to the AFC wild card or week 17 of the 2020 season, but those are the only two recent examples I can really think of, you know. And I've talked to Steelers fans when they come to Cleveland and stuff, and I have great conversations with them. You know, I don't get into hostile or,
No,
arguments with them.
those people that do that. Those Browns fans that are 50 to 60 years old, that get into hostile environments. That's what it was when they were 18, 19, 20 years old. That's what because the Browns were good and so was Pittsburgh. But I will tell you this, I hate Baltimore. I hate
Oh
Baltimore with every fiber of my
yeah.
being. I don't know what it is. I think it's the fact that their head coach looks like Franklin the Turtle. I don't know.
I hadn't even thought about that, but I can see what you're saying. But I look at the Steelers and I'm like, they've only had what, 3 head coaches in 40 seasons. I don't care what the record books say. I don't care how many banners are hanging at Gillette Stadium. The Pittsburgh Steelers are the only team that legitimately has 6 Super Bowls. I don't give a damn what you say, Patriots fans. I
That a
will
boy, Josh. That a
I will
boy.
I will continue to say that, just like the Houston Asterisks only have 1 World Series, and that's 2022. Get your 2017 garbage cans out of here.
That a
Um,
boy. Josh, let's go. Let's go.
I've
I love
trust
that.
trust me, I've felt that way for a while, and Steelers fans are like, "Thank you." I haven't really heard from Patriots fans when I say that, but whatever.
Because Tom Brady doesn't exist anymore, so neither does their fan base.
Okay. Um, just a little shot at you, Boston fans, because, well, we're getting set to play you in about a half an hour or so. Don't you worry, we'll get to that game. But, like, I look at the Steelers and I'm like, why can't we be that way here in Cleveland? Why? Like,
Because we're jealous. We're jealous. We, we are jealous of the Pittsburgh Steelers, and this is coming from a kid who was born and raised in Cleveland. We are jealous of the Steelers. It's not that we hate them; we want to be them.
yes. Um, like, they are a stable franchise. You don't hear about, oh, are the Steelers going to fire their general manager? Are the Steelers going to fire Mike Tomlin? Are they going to make a quarterback change? Okay, maybe more so after they got rid of after Ben Roethlisberger retired. But even with Baltimore, like, you don't hear about, oh, is John Harbaugh going to get fired? Are they going to change offensive coordinators? Are they going to draft a new quarterback? You don't
The
hear
only,
about.
the
Yeah,
only time I didn't mean to cut you off. The only time you heard about this, correct me if I'm wrong, in Pittsburgh was Matt Canada.
yeah,
That's it.
yeah. Like I didn't hear calls for Bill Cowher to be fired. I've heard it a few times with Mike Tomlin. I'm not gonna lie. Um,
Not as often as Stefanski.
Right. We'll get to Stefanski here in a few minutes. Don't you worry, because I do think that's very interesting. But like, it feels like the Steelers are gonna win the division now. But God, I can't wait for that rematch between the Ravens and the Steelers in late December. It's in they're on their own like window because it's on a Saturday, and I can't wait for that rematch. It's gonna be so good.
Hot cocoa, pajamas, and football, baby. That's what that day screams.
Yeah,
Let's go.
yes. But now let's get to well, we can answer this question. I like. I'm gonna phrase this a little bit differently. Instead of the Jets or the Bears, let's do this. Changing it on the fly here.
Don't you do what I think you're doing, pal. Don't you do it. Oh,
Jet, who's in a worse position right now? The New York Jets or America's team? I put that in quotes. The Dallas Cowboys.
damn. Oh gosh. The the Jets, the Jets, I guess, right?
I
I
mean, I don't think there's a wrong answer here, buddy. I
I,
really don't.
I don't I don't know.
Like the Jets just lost to Anthony Richardson, and that whole debacle. They fired their general manager, Joe Douglas, today. They fired their head coach. They basically said, Aaron Rodgers, here are the keys to the kingdom, and it's completely fallen apart.
Well,
I
that's
mean,
what happens when you give the keys to a guy who's probably done acid for the last 5 weeks.
oh, God. All we need is for him to go to Minnesota, play quarterback for the Vikings, and then he needs to go to the Hall of Fame, and then he needs to commit some sort of, I guess, financial crime with a college or university, and boom, you got the same storyline as Brett Favre.
Beautiful,
Ta-da!
and I guarantee he will be on the Vikings in the next year and a half. I guarantee it. I guarantee it. He'll be on the Vikings, and then he'll commit the fraud, and then people will say, "Is that if you squint hard enough, it looks just like Brett
Wait,
Favre."
wait. I gotta rub my eyes for a second. Is that Aaron Rodgers or is that Brett Favre?
Exactly.
At least Brett Favre didn't put his hat in the ring to try and be vice president. Or maybe he did and just didn't tell us.
Maybe you know what? That seems like an Aaron Rodgers, Brett Favre thing to do. That sounds about right for
Okay.
old Brett.
But, I mean, I wouldn't say things are much better in Dallas. Like, Dak Prescott out for the season. They got blown out by the Houston Texans on Monday Night Football. Good. Their stadium is falling apart.
Their stadium's
um,
falling apart quicker than their team's falling apart.
yeah, uh,
Jerry
yeah.
Jones. Jerry Jones is probably closer to retirement than he is to winning a playoff game.
You know, it's interesting. I was just watching a clip from Stephen A. Smith on First Take, and he said Jerry Jones is reminding him of Joe Biden. You know, he was saying that like, you watch Joe Biden's last debate against Trump, not trying to get political in any sense. That's not where I'm trying to go with this. But, like, people are like, dude, Biden, you need to step aside, let a new candidate take over, and that's obviously what happened. We all know the story, how it went from there. Again, not trying to get political. But you get my general point of, like,
No. To get out of the political aspect of it, I agree with you. But to shy away from that,
yes,
um, do you have you seen Rookie of the Year, the baseball movie?
no.
You've never. Okay, so this kid breaks his arm and he becomes a pitcher for the Chicago Cubs. And the new owner, wants to take advantage of him. And the old owner's like this 75-year-old guy, and he doesn't know what's going on. And then it's Jerry Jones to a T, to a T.
Yeah. Mike
Um,
McCarthy is a lame duck head coach. He's not going to be back next season.
Mike McCarthy is laying everywhere. I don't think that man's ever gotten up to get anything in his life. He
Jake Paul, think about this for a second. Jake Paul has more wins in AT&T Stadium than the Dallas Cowboys do.
On record, yes. On record, yes. And shout out Mike Tyson. And yeah, I hate both of them, but yes, you are right.
I didn't want to bring up that fight because that fight was absolutely atrocious, but it needs to be said. Jake Paul has more wins in that stadium than the Dallas Cowboys do this season. To go bring up wrestling for a minute, Cody Rhodes has more wins in that stadium than the Dallas Cowboys do this season. And in WrestleMania, Roman Reigns has more wins in AT&T Stadium than the Dallas Cowboys do this season. And WrestleMania was in Dallas 2 or 3 years ago.
You know what? You know what though? I will say this. If you're a Cowboys fan, this is a PSA to all Cowboys fans. Never talk shit to any team ever again, because now you know how it feels to be in the dumps. And every Cowboys fan who said this is America's team, no, this isn't America's team. This isn't even Texas team. I guarantee most Cowboys fans, most Dallas fans are rooting for Houston now, or at least
yes.
I would.
I would argue the Steelers or the Green Bay Packers are America's team over the Dallas Cowboys.
How about the Lions? People always root for the Lions. You could throw the Lions up there. You could throw any team up there. You could throw any team that's not the Dallas Cowboys. Screw it. Shout out Brandon. I'll throw the Eagles up there.
Oh God. So
I'm really boosting your ego. I'm really boosting your ego this week, B. You better thank me later.
Thank you. To be a wrestling mark, I'm gonna be MJF. You can thank me later.
Awesome. Best deal in the business.
Oh yeah. I want to talk about that match at the end because I'm very curious how that's going to play out at Full Gear this weekend. I definitely want to talk about that. But we'll get to that later. I feel like the Cowboys are in a worse position only because they have the whole history of being America's team and Jerry Jones being the guy, and whoever the next head coach is, like, I get it why people are saying it should be Deion Sanders. I get it. Looking at what he's done with Colorado, and it certainly looks like Travis Hunter is going to be the Heisman Trophy winner. And people are saying Shador or Travis Hunter are going to be the number 1 pick. I get it. But I'm like, would Jerry actually allow Deion to have the spotlight in Dallas and do what he wants? Or is is Jerry just going to go out and hire another yes man?
Jerry's going to hire yes man. That's what Jerry Jones has done for years. He's hired yes men his entire career. That's why they can't win. That's why they won't win.
Yeah. I mean, I don't get it with the Dallas Cowboys. I really don't. But what are some of your other takeaways from Week 11?
Kevin Stefanski is going to be fired.
You want to just go? You want to just jump right to that?
Yes, because I texted you this. I texted you that I wanted to talk about this because I have a very fun fact for you. I think it's six of the last 7 head coaches who have lost to the Steelers have been fired the next day or the next week.
I did hear about this stat. I think I saw it on Twitter.
I did as well.
I don't know for sure. It's such a tricky spot because him and Andrew Berry, for that matter, just got contract extensions this past offseason. And I would say, for the most part, Kevin Stefanski earned that contract extension, winning Coach of the Year twice, getting into the playoffs, especially last season, off the backs of P.J. Walker, Dorian Thompson-Robinson, and Joe Flacco. Notice I didn't mention a certain name in there. We're not going to mention him. But think about that for a second. Like, who was it that beat the San Francisco 49ers? It was P.J. Walker. I know number 4 started the game against the Indianapolis Colts, but he got injured as usual. And, well, P.J. Walker came in and won that game. Who beat the Pittsburgh Steelers? Let me think. Was it number 4? Nope. It was Dorian Thompson-Robinson. And then who came in and won the final 4 or 5 games of the season, whatever it was? It was Joe Flacco.
Uncle Joe, baby.
Which I was probably the only Browns fan that did not root for Joe Flacco because I just can't forget him beating us all the time with the Baltimore Ravens.
Oh, come on, Josh. It was so poetic. He beat up on us for years, and then he comes in and he saves the day.
I couldn't get myself to root for him. Sorry. That's how much I hate the Baltimore Ravens. Nope. I couldn't get it.
I hate Baltimore a lot, but Joe can swing that football, and he didn't give a crap if he played for Cleveland or who he played for. He just wanted to win, and he happened to help us. So, Joe, thanks for the whoopings over the years, and thanks for the help last year. I wish you were still in a Cleveland Browns uniform.
I think he wishes he was still in a Cleveland Browns uniform. But then you go back to 2020. I don't know anybody who was really expecting the Browns to make the playoffs following that disaster in 2019 with Freddie Kitchens and that whole debacle.
Every baker needs its kitchen.
So, but then he comes in and wins Coach of the Year, gets us into the playoffs. We should have been in the AFC Championship game if they had just called the stupid targeting penalty. Which, who knows what would have happened if Cleveland had played Buffalo in the AFC Championship. Good Lord.
Cleveland would be on fire.
Yes. But, so, because of that, because of that history and, recent history, I'll say, I can't quite put Kevin Stefanski on the hot seat, but I can understand why other Browns fans and media members alike are putting him on the hot seat. I can understand it. I don't agree, but I understand, if that all makes sense.
Okay. I can see where you're coming from. Can I switch gears and ask you a question? Because I was gonna text you this a while ago, but I forgot to. You putting Coach Franklin in the hot seat yet?
Oh, yes. Very much so. He cannot beat Ohio State, and he can't beat Michigan. No, I want him fired.
That's valid. Okay, I'm satisfied with your answer. I was gonna text you after we whooped you, but I felt bad. I was gonna let the loss simmer down a little bit, or I was gonna ask you because I knew if I asked you right after the clock hit 0, you were gonna give me some rational answer because I know how passionate you are. So I knew you were gonna be a little irrational about it. But yeah, that's all I wanted to know. But back to Stefanski. Man, I've wanted this dude gone for forever. Forever, I wanted him gone. You know who I wanted to be my head coach? I wanted Greg Williams to be my head coach.
Okay.
And that's what I wanted. And then, we get Stefanski and I'm like, cool. I know what he's done. He's credited, but in my opinion, he kills careers. And his offensive scheme doesn't work. It's a high school offense. And then he somehow squeaks into the playoffs, and I'm starting to turn the page maybe, and then 2020 happens, and I'm fully on the page, and the Stefanski and Baker train is running hot, and then Baker's gone, and now we have someone who shall not be named anymore on our team, and he's just god awful. He's awful. He can't call plays. He can't win games. He's too analytical. He's not good. He's not good enough.
But again, he won games with DTR, PJ Walker, and Joe Flacco as our starting quarterbacks.
Joe Flacco was playing phenomenal football. You can't tell me that man didn't look like a starting quarterback.
I'm not trying to discredit Joe Flacco. But you have to give some credit to Kevin Stefanski for.
I do. I do. I just don't like his coaching style. And for that, I think this loss earns him a spot. If he loses to Pittsburgh, he might be able to squeak one out. But if he does, I think it puts him in the hot seat.
Which again, I understand that reasoning. I fully get where you're coming from. But that's part of my problem with the Browns is like, and to go back to our earlier discussion about Pittsburgh, like, why have the Steelers been so successful for so long? Like,
they keep the same offensive same coach.
Yeah, Tomlin and Roethlisberger were connected at the hip for so long. Before that, it was, Bill Cowher and Roethlisberger, But it's not like one of those spinning doors. By the way, this is my friend Jesse Almeida. He is a big-time Boston Celtics fan. Jesse, I'm guessing you're going to be at TD Garden tonight. Best of luck, but I hope we kick your ass.
Oh, absolutely. Jesse, I don't know you. You're a friend of Josh, so you're probably a solid dude. But listen, buddy. This isn't Jason Tatum's league anymore, pal. This isn't Boston's league anymore. This is Kenny Atkinson's and the Cleveland Cavaliers. This isn't even Donovan Mitchell's league. This is the Cleveland Cavaliers league, baby.
Okay, we had a lot of other topics, but screw it. We're going straight to this. Screw it. Well, actually, I wanted to just talk about this super quick. I think I sent you the link on this. So
yes, you did.
So I want to just briefly talk about this because the Philadelphia 76ers are a dumpster fire right now. Holy crap. Joel Embiid saying, nope, I will not play in back-to-back games. Like,
that pissed me off. Yeah. That just shows me that you don't want to play. You don't love the game. You don't give two craps about the game. Guys would kill. There are guys in the G League who aren't as good as Embiid who would kill to play back-to-backs.
Yeah.
I guarantee you.
This is the first of a back-to-back for the Cavaliers. Guess what? Donovan Mitchell's going to play tonight, and then I bet you he suits up again tomorrow against New Orleans.
And guess what? He sat out last game because he knew he had a back-to-back. That's different. If you know you have a back-to-back coming out and you sit a game in between to get ready for that back-to-back, that shows me that you want to put yourself and your teammates in the best position to win. If you play a game and then say, "Oh, F this, I'm not playing," that just shows me you don't give two craps about the game and you're crapping on a game that was built on hard work. Look at guys like Magic Johnson and Michael Jordan and Shaq and all these centers and these great players that played back to backs and never complained and never missed a game. Look at guys like Tristan Thompson. Do you remember when Tristan played like 60 something straight?
Yes,
Do,
I
do you
do. I I called it. I it's funny you mentioned that. I called him the Energizer Bunny, and if we didn't have him on that 2016 team, I don't think we come back and beat the Warriors. I really don't.
and for those listening thinking I'm comparing Trist Double T to Joel Embiid, no, I'm not. I love you, Double T, but I'm not. I'm just saying he wants to be here. Guys like Ty Jerome want to be here. Not to keep naming the Cavs roster, but guys like Lou Williams, who was sixth man of the year every single year for a long time, he wanted to be here. Joel Embiid, if you don't want to be here, you don't have to play this game. You are
No,
blessed with talent to play this game. And sorry, I'm ranting, but you are not playing this game to the full potential. There are hundreds of thousands of guys that would kill for your spot right now to start every single game in a Philadelphia 76ers. What do you think you're doing to the legends that laced up that uniform, like that put on that uniform? Dr. J, the round mound of rebound. What are you doing to those guys? You're
Allen
tarnishing
Iverson.
the answer. AI. Good point. He's the MVP. And he's talking about practice. He's talking
Yeah.
about practice. And you're not even showing up to practice. And AI didn't show up to practice, but guess what? Guarantee he was ready to play on game day. Michael Jordan played with a hangover / flu, whatever you want to call it. LeBron James, even though I don't like him, made sure to play at least 1 to 2 to 3 to 4 minutes a game, even if he's hurt or not feeling good. Kobe Bryant, your quote unquote hero, Kobe, that you love so much, that you claim you love so much, he
Rest
played
in
every.
peace.
Rest in peace, Kobe. Rest in peace, 8. Rest in peace, 24. Played every single game because he knows kids with not a lot of money or families with not a lot of money will pay their hard-earned money to sit in the highest section in the building to watch Kobe play. And that's what people in Philly do for you. I guarantee there's
Oh, Jesse's calling you out. He says, "Whoa, a Cavs fan not liking LeBron? Wow."
I hate LeBron James, and you can ask anybody. I hate LeBron.
So
I hate LeBron James.
okay, so just to give a little context on what we mean by Tyrese Maxey calling out Joel Embiid, comes out via Shams. He's the guy replacing Woj. He says in the meeting, because they had a post-game meeting following the loss to the Miami Heat, it says, in the meeting, Maxey challenged Embiid to be on time to team activities, calling out the former league MVP about being late for everything and how it impacts the locker room from other players to the coaching staff. Sources briefed on the meeting told ESPN. Like, you won the MVP. People are trying to say, who's the better big man? Is it you or Jokic? And
Oh, it's Jokic. And Jokic doesn't even like to play the game. He hates his job.
but you get like that debate is, it continues. I agree with you. I think it's Jokic, but still, like, wait a minute. People are saying Philadelphia should be one of the top teams in the Eastern Conference. Philadelphia should be a title contender, along with Boston and Milwaukee. And I, if you want, I guess you can throw us into the mix. You know, And yet, here they are near the bottom, a total dumpster fire. And they go out and get Paul George, thinking he's going to be the missing piece, and he can't stay healthy. I don't get it.
a lot of this stems from Joel. Okay. Now I know I just went off on a little bit of a rant there, but that just shows me how much that just shows you how much I hate Joel Embiid, how much I've hated Embiid for a long time. I think he's soft. I think he's barbecue chicken in the post. Shout out to Shaq. But the man is the MVP and he won't show up to work. You know what that does to a team? He's supposed to be the man of that team. You know how deflating that is if your best player, if your guy who's supposed to lead you into battle every night doesn't
Right.
show up?
Like, you know, let's just say like you and I wanted to go see the Cavs play the 76ers. Why would we want to do that? I don't know, because we want to see Darius Garland and Donovan Mitchell go against the duo of Paul George and Joel Embiid. But if Embiid's not there, that's half the matchup gone.
That's what I'm saying. There are people who pay their hard-earned money to just sit at the top of the bleachers or the top of the section to watch the Philadelphia 76ers play. And there are kids who love basketball, who love this game from Philadelphia, who to them, Joel Embiid is the best player they've seen, and they love Joel Embiid. How do you think they feel if their dad or mom spends their hard-earned money to sit them just so they can watch their favorite player play? And by game time, he's not playing.
Yep. I love this comment from Jesse, and I think it's so true. Joel Embiid ain't even a top 5 in the league.
That a boy, Jesse. I love that.
Jesse, you and I may not agree when it comes to the Cavaliers and the Celtics, because, like I said, he is a diehard Boston Celtics fan. But you and I can fully agree here. He is not top 5 right now. I would put Jason Tatum in my top 5. I think you have to. I would put Steph Curry. He still is a top 5 player somehow, some way. I got to put Shea. That's 3. Luka and who's number 5? That's the hard one.
Ant.
Oh, yeah. Wait a minute.
Whoa.
He's not a boy. Jesse.
Whoa.
Jesse. Whoa. Okay. You know what? I want to hear your top 5 list, Jesse. So you have Jokic in there.
I'll give you my top 5 as well while we wait for Jesse's to roll in here, and we'll see if we. So I'll give you my Shea.
Okay, I agree with you on Shea.
Jokic.
Jokic,
and
okay.
Jalen Brown.
Okay.
And Luka.
Okay. So like I said, I have Shea. I've got Tatum. I've got Steph. I would agree with you about Luka, and I would go Jokic. So we'll see if Jesse responds. But I think we have pretty similar top 5s. But we got to get to it because this game's about to tip off. But there's... I'm excitedly nervous about this game.
I've been fired up all week.
Because here's the thing. Dean Wade is out. As last I saw, Okoro and Karis LeVert were both game-time decisions. And my concern is Strus is already out. Dean Wade is out. If Okoro and LeVert both do not go, who do you have? Oh, here we go. We got his Jokic,
wow.
Giannis, Curry, Tatum, and Shea. What do you think?
I think you got to take Giannis out of there just because in my top 5, I feel like all my top 5 top 5 players, they help their team win. He's not helping their team win right now. Their team sucks.
Yeah. But yeah, that is true. So I'm gonna put. Okay, so Jalen, your top 5 again. I want to make sure I have this right. You had Shea, right?
Mm-hmm.
Shai, I think, right? You had
Yep.
Luka. I'm not putting
Mm-hmm.
these in an exact order, but you had Shea, Luka, Jokic. You had Jalen Brown.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and then who was your 5th?
I don't. Who did I? I said Jokic was up there.
Shea. You had Shea, Luka, Jokic, Jalen Brown.
And then who was my 5th? Luca? Maybe it was Luca. I said
No,
Luca. Maybe.
no. I wrote. I have Luka. I have Shea, Luka, Jokic, Jalen Brown.
Who did I? Who did I have 5th? I don't remember. This is bad. Who did I have 5? I
Um,
feel like I could put you. I feel like I could put Donovan Mitchell 5, and I still want to get flagged. So I might take my 5 out and put Donovan Mitchell there. Honestly,
okay.
so I'll put Donovan Mitchell there
Okay.
because I don't remember who I said. Someone go back and find that because whoever I
Right.
said, I don't remember.
So, okay. Jesse says Luka is off for me because yes, he's great at the offensive side of the ball, but he's a big liability on defense. That's fair.
I get that. Yeah.
That's fair.
Mm-hmm.
And then he says Giannis helped them win a ring 3 years ago. That's why he's on there for me. Okay, I'm sorry, but that 2021 championship run for the Bucks was so fluky.
It was a cakewalk. It was so weird.
Like, they were a toe away from not beating Brooklyn in the conference semifinals, and then they got to face Atlanta in the conference finals. Like, and then
Yeah.
Monty Williams just refused to make defensive adjustments in the NBA Finals between the Bucks and the Suns. I don't know why he kept playing DeAndre Ayton on single coverage against Giannis. But
I don't even call him DeAndre Ayton. We call him Baby Boy Ayton over here because that's what he was. He was a baby that series.
But let's get to it. We got our 15-0 Cavaliers looking to go 16-0 when they take on the defending champion Boston Celtics. Jason Tatum and Jalen Brown going against Darius Garland and Donovan Mitchell. Like I said, I'm excitedly nervous about this game because if Okoro and LeVert both aren't going to play, then what happens at the small forward position? Who's going to be the one that slows down Jason Tatum and Jalen Brown? Because you know they're both going to end up at the small forward position. Because Derek White and Drew Holiday are going to be hounding Darius Garland and Donovan Mitchell. Sorry, I had a brain lapse there for a second. But that's what's got me most nervous is as much as I don't like Okoro offensively because he's nowhere near where he needs to be, I like what he can do defensively. And if you don't
too.
Huh?
I do too, as well. I don't like him offensively. I like him defensively.
So, like, my buddies and I have a whole inside joke with Okoro where if he scores 10 points, we sound the Isaac Okoro alarm. We'll, like, send the alarm emoji in our group text, and people will be like, what happened? Okoro scored 10 points!
Let's go. See, but listen here. This team is. I love this team. I love every aspect of it. I know it's gonna be tough tonight. We're in TD. That crowd's gonna be nuts because they know we're 15-0. That crowd's gonna. This is a playoff game. This is a game 5 to 6 playoff game. It's gonna be nuts in TD. Jesse, man, Let's go to war, buddy. I don't know you, but let's go to war tonight. Let's have a great time. And Josh, let's win this game. Let's go 16-0, baby. Let's do it.
Do you realize that if we win this game, there's a chance we could meet Boston again with the opportunity to go 20-0 on December 1st here in Cleveland? Which I work for the Cleveland Cavaliers. I'm out on the concourse, like doing poster making and all that. There's no way I'm working that game. I am buying the ticket and I am going to that game as a fan because, Jesse, I am 2-0 against you. The last 2 times I have been to Rocket Mortgage Fieldhouse as a fan, following a video collaboration with you, guess who's gotten the win? That would be me. So,
Dean Wade, baby, getting hot at home. Let's go.
Jesse, I think you were a little scared, maybe. That's why you didn't want to do the video collaboration. You're just saying you had to work. But
he's shaking in his boots right now. He's shaking in his boots.
Oh, that is true. I gave him flack about that. Hey man, you guys use the injury. You guys use the injury card. They don't have Tingus Pingus.
They don't have Tingus Pingus. That is, but when has Porzingis ever been a factor on that? I mean, he was a factor in the finals, but
okay, Jesse, we're just giving you crap. You know that. He says he's working 24/7. But Jesse, you know I'm just giving you crap. If you weren't working, I'd send you a link to join the show. But what's got me nervous is the fact that this is the first of a back-to-back. We have to play New Orleans tomorrow. Granted, New Orleans doesn't have Zion, and they're also going to be playing on the second night of a back-to-back. But the NBA loves to give us Boston and then have us play on again like the next night, because they did this to us last year.
They did.
When we made that incredible comeback against Boston, and we had the Dean Wade game. Guess what? We had to play the next night in Atlanta.
I remember that.
Yep, and we're gonna have to do that again this season because in mid-February we host Boston, and then we're at Detroit the next night.
Well, guess what? Both those times we had JB calling the shots, but now we got Kenny Atkinson, and that boy's never lost. So I'm feeling all right.
All right, trust me, I know, Jesse. You go to a lot of the big games. This dude goes to, like, he was at the Warriors game. He was at Game 5 of the finals last year. He's been to multiple games at TD Garden. I was trying to convince him to come to Cleveland on December 1st.
We'll get him there. You'll get him there. That would be great. He would love it.
Give me credit. At least I've been saying Cleveland is good. Last year I had you top 3 in the East. That is true. He did have us top 3 in the East. This is my favorite rivalry in the NBA, and I'm not just saying that as a Cavs fan. Maybe I'm one of a small handful of people, but I love this rivalry between the Cavaliers and the Celtics. Like, they've played each other 6 times in the playoffs since 2008, splitting 3-3 with Boston winning in 2008, 2010, and 2024, whereas Cleveland won in 2015, 2017, and 2018. I mean, we probably gave them the best series last year on their run to the championship. Granted, I know what happened with the Eastern Conference Finals against Indiana, but I would still argue we gave them a tougher series. And you didn't even get us at full strength because Jared Allen was out due to a rib injury and Donovan Mitchell was in and out of the lineup. and we still nearly beat you in Game 4. So, yeah, I love this rivalry. Most of the games recently have come right down to the final seconds. 3 of the 4 games went into overtime in 2023, I think it was, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes.
So I'm just like, how can you say it's not a rivalry?
I agree. But Josh, I think we got to wrap this up, man. We're missing game time. I think we got to wrap it up.
Okay. Do you want to talk full gear or no?
I don't think so. This has more important implications. This is going to determine my mood for probably the next 4 days. So,
all right. Well, Jesse, we appreciate you jumping into the chat. I hope at the end of this you are not as happy as we are. Hopefully, when we meet you again on December 1st, we'll be looking to go 20-0, which would be just insane. But what does he say? Peace out. See you on my live after the game. Oh, you know I'll be there.
that a boy, Josh. That a boy.
You know I will be there. And if I have to eat crow, I will. But you know I will be there, Jesse. But it's Cavs. It's Celtics. 16-0 on the line. NBA Cup. Cavs against the defending champs. Let's get it. That's it for championship rings. We're out.
Let's go.
I'm not ending this the way Brandon does because, well, I'm going rogue and I don't want to.